Welcome everybody, Chef David here from the NuWave Studio Kitchen. We're going to do a very simple recipe today using our copper forged cookware with the Dorlon coating, which is non-stick ceramic, no harmful chemicals for your family, and on our Precision Induction Cooktop, which I think is one of the best in the industry. Now, I try not to do foods that are trending too often for you, but I actually really enjoy cauliflower rice or cauliflower risotto or the cauliflower rice bowls that some of the salad wrap places are doing. And it's really simple. It's not hard to do. So let me just show you two ways. This is organic cauliflower, so it doesn't come picture perfect. You know, all these internet people finding the best, most picture perfect vegetables, but that's not how you cook. It's not how I cook. So we buy from a good local farmer's market. It's organic. I could trust it. And if it's got a couple of dings and dangs and some wilted leaves, I'm good with that. I've been cooking too long to worry about perfection on the internet. So look, just take out the core. It's real simple, and be real careful. Okay, use a paring knife or use a semi-short slicing knife like I am. Get these parts off of it and then come in, start peeling the leaves off, and I'll show you why. One of the things I think people make a mistake with when they make cauliflower rice is I've heard people say, well, I don't like it, it's really bitter. Well, the reason it's bitter, two reasons. One, you're leaving some of these green, see these little green leaves that hide in there? You're leaving some of these leaves in there. And then, let me clean up and I'll show you the second part. The second part is even simpler. Now remember, all this goes in our compost. Clean up, and I'll show you one of the reasons why they get bitter. And one of the reasons they get bitter is, I'm going to cut this open a little bit more to release the florets, and you're going to see how big the stems actually are on cauliflower. Now I also follow the same rule. I have made a cauliflower soup with Yukon Gold potatoes over the years. I think there's even a video of it for NuWave. But these bitter stems, they have to go. You can roast them, you can feed them to your chickens, you can compost them, I don't care, but they don't belong in the rice. So when we look at these beautiful florets, they all have stems. So when you roast this in the oven, they kind of look good, but when I'm doing my rice, I don't want them. And if you have a big piece like this with the stem here, just simply cut it in half. And then it's easier to get the stem out, right? Now you don't have to get surgical about this, but we want as much of that stem out as possible because it can be actually pretty bitter. So now, two ways to make cauliflower rice. And I'll show you. One, it's actually quite popular on the internet, is to actually use a box grater, old-fashioned grandma-style box grater like this, to make the rice into a bowl. Or you can quickly run it through a food processor. Depends on the time. The box grater, I think, works great. Don't scrape your knuckles. Food processor, when I'm in a pinch, saves me a lot of time. Cut these into manageable size pieces. Trim out as much of this core, or the stem, as you possibly can. And again, we don't have to get crazy about it. Just kind of give it a little once going over here, and we'll be in good shape. Now, if you see here some of the mess I'm making on my board as usual, you can actually see the cauliflower kind of crumbles off into something that looks very similar to rice. So that's where the name comes from, if that wasn't completely obvious. Another little cleanup for our compost. And we'll trim a few more, and we'll get these in to the bin. So again, stems off. We'll keep going here, get these trimmed as fast as possible. Snap these off. They actually fall apart. Just follow the way nature made them, and they'll come apart pretty simple. All right, now this is probably about, it's a good sized pound cauliflower, maybe a little more than a pound. And I think this is gonna make enough for two really nice dishes. I was at a restaurant not long ago, and a young chef, really sharp, very talented, made me a cauliflower rice risotto with black truffles. And it was really one of the most amazing dishes I've had 30 years of cooking. So just when you think it's all been done, someone out there is trying to top it, and he certainly did that day. All right, so here we go. Now we got the prep out of the way. A couple more things I'm gonna do when the cauliflower's cooking. I'm gonna take a zucchini, I'm gonna dice it up, and I'm gonna take a yellow squash, dice that up, and also for health, we're gonna add some beautiful crispy organic kale is gonna go in here. Now we're gonna start the dish two ways. So I'm gonna show you my little food processor here. This is just a simple household one. We don't use the commercial one on these videos because you guys don't use them at home. So maximum sear, turn it on. This will get hot almost instantaneous. And right away I'm gonna get some olive oil in here, a good amount too, okay? Olive oil is healthy. Now, let me show you the box grater trick. Obviously it has several different sizes. Use the big holes, watch your hands. And that's basically what they say cauliflower rice, but I think the box grater sometimes makes it too fine. So let's go over here to the food processor. Let's top a bunch in here, give it a couple of pulses, and let's see what happens. Get the lid on, and then just give it a couple of pulses. Not trying to puree it. I want it to look like rice. Now the other thing is, what I like to do when I take this off, let me show you real quick. I can go back through, I can even do it right in my pan, right? Be careful of the blade. Let me show you what happens sometimes people get frustrated. So this beautiful texture, can you guys see that? That beautiful rice texture? This is why this dish has trended and gotten kind of popular. Set that over there. But let me show you something. It's gonna have missed a few pieces. Oh, there's a big one. There's a big one. It bounced around a little bit in there, and that's not an issue. Just pull them out. So you see what we have here now. Beautiful cauliflower rice. So now, let's finish this dish. Again, you guys, I always make a mess, so let's clean up a little bit. This can actually go right in there. Why waste it? Okay, quickly. Zucchini. I want to get some little cubes going here. And also, I see cauliflower rice a lot of times cooked, and it's very pale. I actually like mine with a little caramelization on it. Not a lot, but just enough so I know that it was having a good time with the hot pan and the extra virgin olive oil. Quick, small dice, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, as long as you have people around that you're happy to be with, don't make it perfect. Save that for the restaurant chefs. We want to sit down and eat this with some friends. Good piece of crusty bread and a good glass of cold white wine. Something like a Sancerre or a Viognier would go beautiful with this dish because it's very light, very herbal. Real simple. And this is almost a one-pot dish. Okay, so that's zucchini. You guys get to go hang out with the cauliflower rice. Also, raw cauliflower, when you grate it, almost becomes floury. And by that I mean it's going to absorb everything around it. The first thing it's going to absorb is going to be a lot of that olive oil. So instead of putting in half a cup of olive oil in the beginning, I do it in stages so I can control it because I don't want this dish greasy, but I don't want it bone dry, okay? So you can flip it or you can just give it a stir. So here, you can see the caramelization already coming on this, and this is this color right here, if you can see that, guys, that's what I'm looking for, okay? And as the cauliflower rice is starting to absorb the oil, it almost has the texture of a good couscous if you've ever had one. Also, we can drop the temperature down if we want, so we stop that caramelization. Now, a couple of things that are also going in here. For me, a little pinch of pepperoncini or red pepper flakes. It's the spicy side of me. Really good sea salt. About a teaspoon. We can adjust it later. Freshly ground pepper. Any chance you get to use freshly ground pepper, do it, okay? It makes a big difference, believe it or not. You crack the pepper, you're releasing the oil, more flavor. Okay, so let's get a yellow squash guy going here. He wants to join the party. Trying not to waste that much on there like I did, but I'm in a rush. Make sure it goes to your chickens or rabbits or into your compost and get it in the garden. Last year we had about 7 full bags of compost we managed to get out in the garden, which was really, really cool. Okay, get these down. And again, I'm not looking for mathematical perfection in cutting these vegetables. I'm looking to get over to that table with my friends and a glass of wine and a loaf of bread and some cauliflower rice. This dish could not be easier. I saw a neat little thing the other day. Another chef friend of mine showed me a photograph of a cauliflower rice bowl he did. So it was cooked cauliflower rice and served cold. And he had put some saffron threads in the cooking process. turned it this amazing shade of deep yellow and gave it a beautiful floral fragrance. So look, now we got a little caramelization. See this, guys? Not too much. I'm not looking for it to be burnt. I'm looking for it to start getting fragrant. Some people would say put the zucchini and yellow squash in first. It takes a little longer to cook than the cauliflower rice. They're correct. I don't do it. Why? I want a little crunch and texture from my zucchini and yellow squash. These are beautiful vegetables. There's no law that says you have to eat them fully cooked or boiled to death. You can eat them raw, so why can't we eat them halfway cooked where they still have some texture, right? That's important to me. Okay, now, real simple. Start adding in the kale. We took off the big stems, we always do. We gave it a good wash. Depending on how much your kids or your loved ones, your spouse will tolerate kale, try to sneak some more in, because I do. Now at this point here, something else. You could add a few cups of vegetable stock if you wanted to. We keep it vegetarian. I mean, if you wanted to use chicken stock, go right ahead. But if you're going to keep this vegetarian, a few cups of chicken stock. We make ours from dried chickpeas for vegetable stock. It's amazing. Okay? And this dish comes together real fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to gussy this up a little bit. When we come back, we're going to plate it up, and this will be our cauliflower rice with kale and zucchini. Welcome back, everybody. Chef David here, NuWave Studio Kitchen, and we're going to finish up this amazing, light and healthy dish: cauliflower rice, fresh zucchini, extra virgin olive oil, kale, little sea salt, little spice from the pepperoncini. It couldn't be faster. It couldn't be easier. And again, you're welcome to use the box grater if you wish, or you can use a food processor and give it a little blast. Just make sure you take out any other chunks and don't waste them. Use them. This goes perfect in a simple cauliflower soup. You simmer some cauliflower, a little milk, and a peeled potato. Put it in your blender or put it in your food processor. Amazing soup. That simple. All right, so this, for me, is done. All right? And again, I got that little caramelization I was looking for. And then I just plate this up. I can make this dish for 4 friends. Total prep time about 10 minutes. Those guys are sitting down. They're having a sip of wine, having a good talk, enjoying each other's company. Chef, as usual, is in the kitchen, but I'll be out of it in less than a minute when I say goodbye to you guys. So this is the dish. I like the kale. I like the freshness of it. I don't overcook it. I don't even overcook my zucchini or this beautiful yellow squash. All right, but this dish, just what I had in this pan, would easily serve 2 very hungry people. On top, a little extra virgin olive oil again. It's so good for you. Okay, little pinch of sea salt just for that flavor. And for me, a little more red pepper. Cauliflower rice, fresh kale, zucchini.